Hello everyone, this is Mitesh from Coding Ninjas. Welcome to our new video on how to become a full stack web developer. In this video, we're going to talk about all the steps to become a full stack web developer, and we're going to talk about is learning full stack web development or is becoming a full stack web developer worth it? So we're going to talk about all of these things. Also, this video is a part of a new playlist of web development on Coding Ninjas. So by now, if you have not yet watched the previous videos of this playlist, you can watch the previous videos. The link for the playlist is available in the description below. Now let me tell you about an amazing course which is full stack web development course with Node.js. So this is a course by Coding Ninjas. In this course, you're going to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript in front end, and in the back end you will be doing backend with Node.js. So while finishing the course, you are not going to develop many projects of front end, back end and full stack. You are also going to become a full stack web developer at the end. So you will become a job ready programmer at the end. And also if you are interested in full stack web development course with Node.js or any other Coding Ninjas course, there's a scholarship test going on, that is CNSAT scholarship test by Coding Ninjas. So you can also find this scholarship test link in description below. So after giving the scholarship test, you can earn up to 100% scholarship on all the Coding Ninjas courses available. Alright, so now let's begin. So full stack web development, I think by now you're familiar with what is a full stack web development and what is a full stack web developer. So if you're not aware, let me just give you a brief introduction. So a full stack web developer is someone who does front end as well as back end. So front end consists of managing the website, how does the website looks. When a user looks on the website, user interacts on the website. So it's a front end engineer job to make the website user friendly, to make API requests, to ask for data or to send data to the backend. This is the front end engineer's work. And in the backend, backend engineer work is to take data, is to handle data, is to store data. So this is the work of backend engineer, and front end and backend both combined is a full stack web developer. There are many other roles played by a front end web developer and backend web developer. We're going to talk about those ways as well in our video. So now let us first begin with how to become a full stack web developer. So to become a full stack web developer, first step is definitely the front end web developer. So to become a front end web developer, you should learn HTML, CSS, which is the basics of front end web development. So in HTML, CSS, after learning HTML, CSS, you can definitely build a website. So that website won't be interactive. So you can just look at the website, you can look at the data, what is the data available, but you cannot change the data or you cannot do anything else. You cannot interact with the user. You can only just see data just like a page, but not edit it or not do anything in it. Or not send any messages, not anything else. Let's say you're looking at a blog. So you can look at a blog, but you cannot comment on the blog, and you cannot like the post, you cannot dislike the post. So things like that won't be available after learning HTML, CSS and developing a website with that. So after learning HTML, CSS, we're going to learn JavaScript. So in the JavaScript, the most important thing to learn in JavaScript is API. So JavaScript is a programming language. So with the help of JavaScript, a user can develop a functional front-end website. And with the help of JavaScript as well, a user can become a full stack web developer, or user can start towards learning backend as well. So in JavaScript, the main task is of API. What is an API now? So whenever you interact with anything, let's say you are sending a friend request. So you think that you are sending the friend request, but what you do originally is you just send I just want to add this as a friend, and you send that request to the front end engineer, or basically to the application which has been made by the front end engineer. And then that application which has been made by front end engineer decides that whether you can add someone as a friend or not. So this has been decided by the application of the front end engineer, right? So that application, so this functionality of that, when you click on something, when you click on, let's say, add friend, so what is going to happen then, and a friend request is going to send to that person to whom you have sent the friend request. Or let's say you cannot send the friend request, that person is already blocking you, so you cannot send the friend request. So all of these things are looked up by a front-end engineer. So what front-end engineer does is, let's say he is, let's say, recalling data from internet, right? So let's just think of backend as internet. So front-end engineer can recall data from backend and can send data to backend as well. So this path of sending and recalling data is called API, and this could be done using API. So this is called API, and let's say now let's talk about what happens with the data when we call for the data. Let's say now you have 3 friends. So front-end engineer will not write cases when you have 1 friend, you have 2 friends, you have 3 friends. Front-end engineer is just going to develop a website, and how many friends you have, the application is going to resize itself. So what I mean by that is, let's say you have three friends, then the website could look something like this, right? Website could look something like this. Now let's say you have 4 friends, or let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 friends, right? You have 6 friends. So you can see that like the icons are now on a different places. So the front-end engineer has not written cases that when you have 3 friends, website should look like this, or when you have 5 friends, website should look like this. So front-end engineer task is to like do it for any amount of data. So whatever, how many friends you have, a front-end engineer is going to take care of that. It's not going to write individual cases when you have 3 friends or 5 friends or no friends. So let's say in the case when you have no friends, it is going to show no data or add as an option. So this is the front-end engineer's task, and all of these things is possible due to JavaScript. Using API, we call for data, that how many friends you have, and using JavaScript and some functionality of JavaScript, we like rearrange our website like this. So this is like playing with data in the front end. So this has been done by JavaScript. After learning JavaScript, and you can now develop a full front-end application using the basics of a front-end, which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. After learning this, you can learn frameworks. So currently I'm talking about frameworks of HTML and CSS. So there's a CSS framework called Bootstrap. You can learn that, and there's kind of an extension of CSS which is called Sass. You can learn this as well. So both of these things are really helpful and will give you a lot of insight, or it will help you a lot while writing CSS. So mainly the styling of websites is really important nowadays. When the user is not going to look at the functionality, or mainly is not going to look at the backend or how you're sending the data. User only cares about how the website look and is the website friendly or not. That's why CSS is very important nowadays. So after learning frameworks, you can learn JavaScript library which is called jQuery. So with the help of jQuery, your code will become less. So let's say you have written 50 line of code. So you can convert that 50 line of codes to 30 line of 30 line of codes using the library jQuery. So definitely you should learn, or you should just give it a try to jQuery. So this is a library of JavaScript. So after learning jQuery, now what you will be doing is you can develop your own projects. Let's say you are now developing a front-end project. So you want to practice whatever you have done till now. So to do that, you will be developing projects of front-end. Let's say previously you were also developing projects of HTML and CSS. So one important thing is that version control system. So Git is a version control system, and also you can use GitHub for Git. So what happens is you generally store all of your code in one website called GitHub, right? Or basically GitHub works on Git only, but I'm referring it as GitHub. So let's say you store all of your code in GitHub, and let's say you have done some changes, you have added some more functionality. So you can add that as a feature, that I have added this feature to my website. And let's say you have done something wrong in that feature and your whole website just breaks down, right? And like that feature is causing trouble in different parts of the website. But now if you're trying to figure out what is like, if you try to debug it, and you just end up like destroying your whole website after when you were just figuring out how to debug that code, or how to or just find what is the mistake that you have done. So you can do this, or another way of doing is, let's say while you were storing that new features to your website, the GitHub or the Git is going to store that original version, and it is going to create a new version when you add some more components, or you added a new version to your website. So you can revert back to the old version, and then you can fix the code. So in the small scale you won't see much difference, but in the large scale you are going to see the difference. Let's say we have a big website, let's say Amazon or something like that. So in that website we don't usually see bugs, right? And let's say if a developer make a mistake, so what is going to happen? The whole website is just going to crash, and millions of users won't be able to use the website, and overall the business is going to get lost because of that bug or that crash. So in such cases, what big companies or any company will do is going to manage a version control system. Let's say Amazon 12.5, or I'm talking about applications. All right, Amazon 12.5 application is working fine. Then Amazon releases a new application called Amazon 12.6, and in that version, in many phones, it is like crashing. The Amazon browser or the Amazon application is crashing. So what Amazon can do is, it can temporarily roll back the version 0.6 to the version 0.5. It can temporarily do that and just fix the new version, and then again make the changes to the website, website or application. So version control system can be worked in website or application, anything. Okay, so version control system is important, and another important feature of version control system is, let's say you're developing many projects of yours. So you will not give, let's say you are giving that projects to a recruiter. So you will not give all of those projects in a pen drive or something like that. You're going to give that, and you're going to show that in your GitHub repository. So that recruiter is going to see your GitHub repository and see your codes of whatever applications you have made or whatever projects you have made. And using that, he might thinking of hiring you. Okay, so this is the use of GitHub. Now after learning version control system, we are now going to deep dive into front-end frameworks. So now that we are completed with front end, so we have done HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Now we can definitely learn some front end and learn front end frameworks. So using front end frameworks, whatever we have done would become very easy. Right now, for those of you who don't know what is a framework and like what is the main task of the framework, let me explain you quickly what is a framework through an example. Let's say I'm doing paint in a software, right? And in that software I have let's say a brush, and I can change the color of the brush. I have an eraser. So I only have two things mainly, some brushes and an eraser, right? So I can paint anything. So this is kind of like HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I can do anything using that brush. I can paint anything, I can erase as well. But let's say I have another application, and I'm calling that application as a framework. In that application, many of the things are already made, like many shapes are already made, let's say cloud shape, triangle shape, rectangle shape, polygon shapes. Many of the shapes are already made, and that website is pretty much, that application is customizable. Let's say I've already drawn a shape, and now I want to change its color. I can do that as well in the new application. So this is called a framework. Framework does the same things as we could have done using HTML, CSS and JavaScript, but we can do a lot easier. All of these things we can do it a lot easier. So this is the power of frameworks, and there are some examples of front-end frameworks. Those are React.js, Vue and AngularJS. These are some popular frameworks which are popular now. And the main thing about web development is, let's say currently React is in trending, right? Let's say currently React is in trending. So you learn React, but after some time it might happen that some other framework might come and that can take place of React. So you should keep updating yourself, like what is going on in the industry, like what is going on in, like whatever you're learning web development. So what is going on in the web development industry? Is there some new frameworks that are coming on, or like new releases of React.js are coming? What is happening? And if there is some new thing, new framework, what is that framework? Is that better than React? You should keep yourself up to date as well. Alright, so these are some front-end frameworks. You can learn them. You can learn mainly any one of them. You can learn more than one, but I will not prefer, because we are aiming for full stack web development. So now we should give like some amount of time. We should devote some amount of time to front-end web development, right? And then we should start with backend. And after learning backend, let's say you have learned React now in the front end, and after learning backend, you are thinking that I want to learn more. So then you can explore other options as well. So this is front-end frameworks. After this, you might think of using or learning UI UX graphic design. So as I have told you earlier, nowadays we see a lot of websites, right? And in those websites, the main thing that catch our eyes is the website, not the functionality which is going on behind, not how the data has been transferred from front end to back end. We don't care about that. I'm talking about the general public. General public only cares about how the website looks. Is the website user friendly or not? So this is UI UX design, and let me give you a great example of UI UX design. And I'm going to show you a website. In that you can see how the UX UI has been like done, like so flawlessly. UI UX has been done. So currently I'm opening Apple website, so apple.com, right? So like we are a web developer, okay? To take inspiration, we can open any amount of websites. We just want to take inspiration, right? And apple.com is a great inspiration for front-end web developers, right? So let's look at some page. So let's say I'm opening this iPhone page. So as soon as I click on this page, you can see an animation plays, right? So this is the work of UI UX or the graphic designer. And now I'm scrolling. So I have started scrolling. I will not say anything, but I have started scrolling, and you can see all of the animations that are playing. So I have scrolled down, but still many animations are going on, and there are some animations that are going on that like they are so smooth that I won't even able to recognize that is an animation or something like that. So this is the work of UI UX designer or the graphic designer. So mainly because of this, you can see the product is looking so flawlessly, or the website is looking so flawlessly. And you can see the great animation here as well. Like this is a picture and they have changed it to something else. So like definitely we can take inspiration from any website which catches our eyes. And apple.com is a great example for that. It's a great example to learn for front-end web developers. And you can see this website goes on, and like it is so big, and they have added so many features in front end. So this is a good example of like UI UX design. You can become a UX designer as well. After learning front end web developer, you can become a UI UX designer as well, and you can skip UX UI design as well. And I prefer you should learn a little bit about UX UI design. Now that we have completed our front end, we are going to move to the back end, and the core of the whole full stack web development is internet, is knowing about where we are doing. We are doing our web development in internet, so we should definitely know what is internet, how does internet works, what is an HTTP request, what is domain name, and what are domain names used for, what are browsers, how does browser works, what is the local storage, what is the cache. So you should learn about internet now. After learning and completing front-end web development, you should move to back-end, and in that firstly we should cover internet before moving forward, because in back-end you will be listing these terms again and again, HTTP request and other requests as well. You should be familiar with browsers and domain name if you're working on, if you're even working on front-end as well, there are like API requests. So for that, internet is pretty useful. But now you should definitely deep dive into internet and know how it works. After learning about internet, you can learn about operating system as well. So like you are become a good full stack web developer, so you should know everything which comes on your way. So operating system is one of them. You should learn about operating system, some terminal commands, what is memory management, and other things of operating system as well. After learning operating system, you can learn a language to start learning backend in. So some examples of languages are Java, C#, PHP, and JavaScript. So before moving forward, let me again remind you of a full stack web development course of Coding Ninja. So this is a full stack web development course with Node.js. And while learning on this course, you will be learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the backend you will be learning with Node.js. Backend you will be learning with Node.js. So after doing this course, you will not only have a lot of projects in your resume, but you will also become a job-ready programmer, or you are capable enough to take a full stack web development job. Okay, and you can as well, if you're interested in any Coding Ninjas course or this full stack web development course with Node.js, you can go and visit Coding Ninjas website and also register for CN SAT scholarship test. Using this scholarship test, if you earn good marks, you can earn a scholarship up to 100%. So please do that as well, and you can find link for both the course as well as the scholarship test in the description below. So now you're learning backend. So to handle backend, we have to learn languages. And languages are, some examples are Java, C#, PHP, JavaScript. These are some examples of languages. After learning a language, and basically now we have learned JavaScript in front end as well. So if you want, you can continue with JavaScript only in the backend as well, but you can learn new languages as well. So learning a new language will open many paths for you as well. So let's say you learn Java, so then you can learn data structure and algorithm as well. You can learn many problem solving skills or many problem related questions. You can solve many problem related questions in Java. You can learn object oriented programming and other things in Java. You can learn advanced Java. So there are many other things with other languages, but you can do that as well, and you can learn JavaScript as well. So we have already learned JavaScript in front end. If you want to save some time, you can continue on JavaScript, and you can then start learning a new framework of any of these languages, and that framework would be useful for backend. Right? And there are many frameworks for each language. There are different frameworks. So after learning language and after learning framework, you can definitely then make a full stack website. So you will be then capable enough to develop backend as well. And there's one more thing that you should know before developing backend, and that is databases, right? And that is a very important thing. So there are mainly two types of databases that you should be familiar with while developing backend, and that is relational database and NoSQL database. So in relational database, let me just give you a brief. So in relational database, databases which have relation to each other. So we work with that kind of databases. Some example are MySQL and Oracle. And there is again a NoSQL database. So NoSQL database is generally when we're working with a large scale database. So example are MongoDB, Firebase, and in NoSQL database we usually work with a key value pair. Key value pair as in let's say I want to save something in a database, right? So I want to save for the A value, I want to store a paragraph. So this is a key value pair. So using the A key, I have stored a paragraph. So this is a key value pair. So in NoSQL database works on key value pairs. So after learning databases and after learning a language and mainly the framework of a language, which then you will be capable enough to develop backend. And now you can develop some backend applications, and after being confident in backend, you then can develop a full stack application using front end as well as back end. And let's say you have developed some applications of front end previously, you can update that as well, and you can update that in such a way that now you can develop backend for those already made websites, and you can connect both of these. So it will be fun if you do this as well. like if you connect the previously made websites with current websites, right? You can do this as well. After learning database, now we should learn more things, right? So like this is not the end of full stack web development, and definitely there is no end to full stack web development or learning as well in general. So after learning database, we can learn web security, how to make web secure, how to like save our website from hacker attacks, or like misplacing our data, because data is like very important. That's why we should learn about web security or even the basics of it as well. After learning web security, you can like web security is totally optional, but you should have a little amount of knowledge of web security. You can learn about testing as well. So there are different testing called unit testing, integration testing, and functional testing. So what happens in testing is, let's say you have developed a full scale website, front end as well as back end, a full scale website. Now you will write some tests to test that whether your website is capable enough to handle real life test cases as well. So in testing you will be like mainly writing many test cases which is going to run on your website, and you're going to check that whether your website is working fine or not, the outcome coming from a website is expected or not. So you can do all of these things using testing, and testing is like a really important thing when it comes to large scale applications or large scale websites. So you can learn testing, and after learning testing you can learn about web servers. So web servers like Apache, Caddy, and different web servers as well. And after all of these things, after learning front end, back end, after becoming a full stack web developer, you now you have developed many full stack applications as well. So main thing and the main impactful thing to do now is to take your website, take your application, and make your application live. You can also make your application live with only front end as well, but now your full scale application could go live as well. Or you have some different ideas, let's say you have unique idea and you want to develop a website on that. You can make that live as well. You can create your idea, you can bring your idea to life, and then you can like make your website live. So that would be really awesome. So let's say if you're going for a job, or if you're showing someone your website, so you only just have to give a link to that person, right? And that person will open that link in his or her mobile or computer or any other device, and he's going to see your website, right? So you can do this as well, and there are many other things that I want to include, and those are responsiveness of a website. Let's say we are developing a website, so usually we work on computer. So we develop websites according to that only, that we are going to look in the computer how a website is looking. But all of like other persons who are going to use that website, they are not going to work on computer. They can work on mobile phones, they can work on laptops, they can work on laptops, they can work on systems which have bigger screen than laptop, or they can even work on iPads. So there are different sizes of iPads as well, there are different sizes of mobiles as well. So what a responsive website is? So a responsive website is something, a website which looks great in mobile phone as well as in computer. So let's, we were talking about apple.com. So let's open apple.com again. So this is our apple.com. So you can see this is the main page of our apple.com, right? So let's inspect this page, and let's the thing about browser is, you will learn eventually, if you don't know that yet, that we can there is a developer tool, and we can open this website according to mobile as well, and we can basically we can see that how this website is going to look in any mobile phone. So using this button we can do that, and let's say we want to look this website in XR. So you can see that like it is visible, but like it might be small, but it is visible to you, and you can open this website or any other website in your mobile phones, and it is looking perfectly fine, right? So dimensions are not breaking that. The main thing about mobile phones is that we don't usually want left and right scrolls in our mobile phone. We just only want to scroll up and down. If we see some right and left scroll, then like it won't be called a friendly website. So yeah, you can look in iPhone as well. You can look in other devices, like let's look in a tablet. So iPad mini. So in iPad mini, it would look kind of different than it would have looked in mobile phone, or in laptop it would look different than it would have been looked in an iPad. Let's look at some other websites as well. Let's open Coding Ninjas. So we're opening Coding Ninjas. So you can see this website is pretty great as well. There are many animations in the website, and whenever we hover on anything, though that thing expands. So this is the work of front-end engineer to do this, to add animations, to make this site responsive. And let's inspect this, and let's look how this site is going to look in mobile phone. So you can see that let's look at this thing, right? So this thing is now in top to down fashion, and when we were in computer, this thing was like from left to right? What I'm saying is, I think you are kind of understanding it, that the lines are now vertical, right? But in mobile phones, the sections are in another way. So that means that front-end engineer, or the engineer who has made this website responsive, has developed it differently according to computer or according to bigger screens. It has been developed differently, and for the smaller screens, this website has been developed differently. So this is again the task of a front-end engineer, right? So yeah, we have look this, and you can also look at some other websites as well. And while learning HTML, CSS, and while learning front-end web development, you should try to make each and every project of yours as responsive as well. So while looking for job, while applying for jobs, while someone is recruiting you, he or she will definitely look that the projects that you have made, they were responsive or not. Another thing they definitely check is the quality of your code. So quality of your code is decided by is your code readable or not, right? So whatever code you have written, is it readable or not? They can understand your code easily or not, and you have added comments or not. And again, you have not added unnecessary comments, but some comments to basically give a brief about what you're doing in something, in some paragraph or in some block of code, what you're doing. Now that we have looked at how to become a full stack web developer, now let's try to know that is it worth it to become a full stack web developer? Do we get enough chances to earn money or to get a job after becoming a full stack web developer? So whatever your motto is, let's say you just want to start a startup, or you want to develop your own product, or you're someone who just wants a job after becoming a full stack web developer. So the main thing about learning full stack web development is that anyone can become a full stack web developer, no matter whatever your background is. So if you are from let's say commerce background or science background, or not from a computer science background, then too you can definitely learn full stack web development. So now let's look on the internet that are there any jobs available. So currently I'm talking about jobs. So let's say jobs will be coming to your college. But if you're looking for offline jobs as well, and if you're someone who's not from college, or whose college don't give a good opportunities in front end or in full stack web development, right? So for that you will be looking for jobs offline, in an offline manner. So let's see in general how many full stack web development jobs can we find. So let's search for full stack web development jobs. So on google.com, let's write full stack developer jobs, right? So there are many opportunities. Let's open some of these opportunities. So let's open LinkedIn and let's see some opportunities of full stack web developer. So first opportunity is full stack, and that is from Walmart, right? And in backend they have written Node.js, right? And previously I was talking as well about Coding Ninja's course of full stack web development using Node.js. So definitely you can give it a try, and you can see that there are a lot of opportunities for full stack web developer. So this is a full stack Node.js software engineer job, and this is an entry level job. So what is an entry level job? Job for someone who has little to no knowledge or little to no experience. If you have some internships, that is kind of a plus point, but this is an entry level job, and employment time is full time. You can apply on the company website. So let's look at the third. I guess in the second, Amazon, they're asking more than the knowledge of front end web developer or a full stack web developer. Let's look at the third side, which is Citi, or I guess it is Citibank, I don't know, but yeah, they're looking for full stack junior developer, and like this is a full-time job as well. And what they are looking for is they have given their description, but basically they are looking for full stack web developer. So you can see after learning full stack you can apply at different opportunities. And there are many opportunities available by Amazon as well, like with MasterCard, and many opportunities with Walmart. So there is another opportunity by Walmart, which is software engineer, full stack, React.js and Node.js. So as I have told you earlier, currently like JavaScript framework, React.js is in like trending. And in backend, if you don't want to learn a new language and learn framework from that language, you can learn a framework of JavaScript as well, which is Node.js. So definitely you can do this and you can become a full stack web developer, and there are many opportunities. So these are some opportunities from the top companies, right? And there are many opportunities from companies which are not as good as these companies, but yeah, there could be more good opportunities than these companies as well. You can try there, and you can see that there is one UI full stack web developer. So as I have told you earlier, UI UX and like designing UI UX, and this is also very important task, because main thing about website is how they look, right? And the main thing the customer is going to look in someone's product is how it is looking in the first glance. That's why UI UX is also very important. You can learn that as well. And again, you can go and you can search for these opportunities. There is one by Adobe, there is one by Google, and there are many by Amazon, Walmart, and many other companies. Right, so you can go and you can search, and again we are looking for these opportunities. So what are the options available to us? Like the options are just to go on these sites and look for well established companies which are looking for jobs, which are willing to give jobs to a full stack web developer. You can go and apply there as well. You can start your own startup, or you can just develop your own website. You can do freelancing as well using the knowledge of full stack web development. You can go to freelancing websites. You can see there are many people who are posting requirements. They want this website either in front end or just back end of the website, and they want it in let's say someone requires is they want the website to be in React.js, or they just want a full working website. So you can go to freelancing websites and you can look there as well. And another thing is mainly in the startups. So in the startups, again, there is a huge demand of front end or back end, and mainly full stack web developers or full stack engineers. So you can go and look in startups as well. So these are like some opportunities for full stack web developer, and generally nowadays there is a lot of kind of need of full stack web developers, because after learning full stack web development, another thing we can do is we can develop a application as well, which is called a web application. So that is very easy to do and like easy to learn how to develop an application using web, right? So you can do that, you can like learn that as well. Now that you have become a full stack web developer, you can learn how to become a web application developer as well. Right, so this is it. I hope you have learned something new from this video, and now that you are convinced that being a full stack web developer is very important in nowadays, and definitely that is a worth it job. It will take time to become a full stack web developer, but at the end it will be worth it, right? And you can see there are many opportunities available everywhere in your college or like everywhere. You just have to learn and opportunities will come to you definitely, right? You just have to work hard in the right direction. Again, before ending, let me talk about the full stack web development course by Coding Ninjas with Node.js. So in that course, you will be learning HTML, CSS and JavaScript in the front end, and the back end you will be learning Node.js. After learning that course, you are not only going to develop many projects in front end, back end or in full stack, you are also going to become a full stack web developer which is job ready. So you can start applying for jobs after going through that course, and and you can just start brushing up your skills after the course. So if you are interested in Coding Ninjas course or any other Coding Ninjas course, you can give a scholarship test which is called CNSAT scholarship test. You can find the link for the Coding Ninjas course as well as the scholarship test in the description below. So go ahead and register for the scholarship test. You have to register, and after giving the scholarship test, you can earn a scholarship up to 100%. So you can definitely earn a scholarship up to 100%, and this is it. And again, let me remind you that this video is a part of a playlist of web development. So the playlist is free and available on YouTube. You can find the playlist link in description below. Alright, so thank you.